I never really enjoyed poetry because a lot of the time, poems are really figurative and all of the language is used in really, really confusing ways that don't make me understand it, and I've always liked practical books more. However, The Tale of Erikest is one that I wrote. It's a narrative poem, and the reason that I call it an exception is because it is quite literal. You can understand it on a surface level, and it still does have a theme in the end. So here it is, a tale about a fictional town obsessed with making dresses called Erikest. There once was a town named Erikest. There was no competition, for they were the best, at making dresses far better than the rest, and they beat every standard and every test. The people knew that their dresses were better. The queen of the lands asked them what to get her. Erikest was convinced that their dresses were perfect, but fate would change that while they slept. On a new moon's night, when all was dark, a thief snuck into the queen's castle, quick as a stark. He snatched a match, lit it with an awful frown, and burned down an Erikest-made dressing gown. The queen quickly found it, rage made its fill. The people of Erikest woke with a chill. They knew that the queen had loved her gown practically ritually, and now their heads were doomed, figuratively and literally. What could Erikest have possibly done? No one made dresses faster than the rising sun, so they piled up their best dresses and cleaned them off, and it might have helped if it weren't for the cough. One sick person was sneezing and wheezing, his disgusting breath made the dresses less appeasing, and there was only so much stress Erikest could take, and so they grabbed his sick body and threw him into the lake. Less than half an hour till the queen would be here, the people finally finished the Erikest dresses and let out a cheer. But the thief had left his last call to fame, for he had lit matches into dresses which burst into flame. Erikest exploded like dynamite. The queen was approaching, she was almost in sight. Desperation pestered the poor people's minds, they destroyed the town to snatch every dress they could find. Chaos laughed, houses were burning as Erikest saw the queen's car turning and turning. They patched together every dress they saw, but none were perfect and all were flawed. One dress was a koala, ugly without a doubt. One looked like someone chewed and then vomited it out. No patched dress fit Erikest's pride. The queen got off her car and lengthened her stride. The people shrieked, their fevers peaked, their legs were weak. The queen had arrived and opened her mouth to speak. Erikest begged and pleaded with cries. The queen looked at them and said with a sigh, "I don't care about one single dressing gown. But why did you ruin the whole town?" And so the people of Erikest had finally learned, sometimes it's better to let one dress burn. After reading the poem, you can probably tell why I made the cover page a dress on fire. Now, the theme of the Tale of Erikest is arguable in many levels, because to different people there could be different interpretations. Now, I wrote this poem, so my intended theme might actually be the same as another person's interpretation, but here it goes. So the theme of my poem is, sometimes it's better to let one mistake go instead of trying to solve it stubbornly and creating more problems. Erikest was extremely reliant on their dresses, and it was really their only sense of self-worth and identity. When a single dress was ruined, the people tried to solve the problem by making more dresses. They were quick to crush anything that could threaten a dress too, to the point of killing a sick civilian who was working on the pile of dresses anyway. When the thief taught them a lesson by ruining more dresses, Erikest failed to self-reflect or think of a better solution, instead opting to just make more dresses. This shows a stubborn and rigid mindset that holds them back from thinking clearly. The people of Erikest tried so desperately to fix their dresses because it was the only thing they knew how to measure success by, and that they gave up everything else to do it. Erikest shows the dangers of narrow thinking and unhealthy obsessions. This poem really has three central characters. We first have our protagonist, the Erikest people. We have the queen, the threat that is shown throughout the poem, getting closer and closer to the town. And we have the thief, who was the first to cause the mayhem that happened afterward. They each represent an integral part of the story and an integral part of the theme. The people of Erikest represent someone with a rigid, stubborn mindset, only one way to solve a problem and only one way to measure success. And I know tons of people who are like this, people who can't get out of their old way of thinking and must be obsessed with their one way that they think their worth and their identity is tied to, even if it no longer applies to them anymore. The queen represents the innate fear of failure. The queen represents the idea, the authority, the figure who judges Erikest's worthiness. When Erikest couldn't keep up with their dresses standard, they immediately tried to solve the problem without even considering that the queen wasn't even mad at all at them. They blamed themselves for what the thief did and lost their sanity as a result. The queen shows that having only one standard of success is dangerous, since the fear of losing it can be extremely damaging. The thief is just a stroke of bad luck, a problem, a mistake that causes Erikest to realize that their true value no longer lies in just their dresses.